Hey y'all. Picture this, it's 1876. The sun's barely clinging to the horizon over Redstone. A gritty little town in Nevada where the air's thick with dust, cattle, and broken dreams. I'm Tom Harper, just a rancher trying to keep my head above water. Walking hand in hand with my little girl, Sadie, who's 6 in all sunshine, her red pigtails bouncing as she babbles about horses. We're at the stockyard, the usual chaos, men shouting, hoofs stomping, the stench of sweat and manure when Sadie stops dead, her tiny hand squeezing mine, and whispers, "Pa, why's that lady tied up like a dog?" My gut twists as I follow her gaze to a woman chained to a post, her dress in rags, face bruised, eyes hollow like she's already half gone. Folks pass her like she's nothing, just another piece of the market's trash. I ask a trader nearby, "Who's she?" He spits, says her name's Nora. Sold off by some deadbeat cousin to settle a gambling debt, ain't worth much. Barely breathing. Sadie's tugging my sleeve, her voice small but fierce. "Pa, we gotta help her. She's hurt bad." I'm thinking, I got no room for this, no money, no time, just me and Sadie scraping by since her ma passed. But those big, pleading eyes of hers, I hand over $7. All I got left from the feed run, and they unchain Nora. She collapses into my arms, light as a ghost, fever hot, and I hoist her onto my horse, Sadie trailing on her pony, looking back every few steps like she's afraid Nora'll vanish. We get her to the ranch, set her up in the old tack room, nothing fancy, just a cot and a cracked window letting in slivers of light. Nora doesn't talk, doesn't trust, her eyes darting like a cornered animal when Sadie brings her porridge, saying, "I waited so it's not too hot." Days pass, and Nora starts moving, quiet as a shadow sweeping the porch, stitching Sadie's torn overalls, reading her stories by the fire, her voice soft like a summer breeze. Sadie starts calling her Miss N, and I catch myself watching, wondering who she was before the chains. Obligation, I tell myself, that's all this is, but there's something about the way she cools Sadie's soup, or tucks a blanket around her when she naps, that feels like more. Then one day, I'm fixing a fence out back, Sadie's chasing fireflies by the creek, and Nora's picking sage nearby when I hear a scream, "Pa!" I drop my hammer, heart pounding, and see a rattler coiled, fangs out, aimed at Sadie. Before I can move, Nora dives in, grabs that snake mid-strike, and it sinks its teeth into her arm. She flings it away, teeth gritted, not a sound, and I'm running, scooping Sadie up, pulling Nora close. Her arms swelling fast, ugly purple spreading, and I'm crushing herbs, tying bandages, praying like I haven't since my wife died. All night, I sit by her, whispering old hymns, and when she mumbles, "Don't chain me again," I take her hand, say, "Never, Nora, you're free here." Sadie curls up nearby, clutching her doll, and I feel something crack open in me, not just duty anymore. Weeks later, Nora's healing, and she's different, stronger, planting rosemary in the yard, teaching Sadie to braid it into crowns. But town's not kind. Redstone's small and gossips fast. They whisper about Tom's stray, call her a drifter, a nobody. One old hag at the store mutters, "Bought her cheap, didn't he?" Right where Nora can hear. She doesn't flinch, just keeps walking, head steady, delivering rosemary bundles to doorsteps with Sadie skipping along, saying, "For Miss N." Then one day, while digging in the yard, Nora finds a tin box buried under a post, letters, a deed, a faded photo of a girl, her ma, and a brother, marked Larkin Homestead, 1862. Her hands shake as she tells me, voice low, how raiders burned her home, killed her ma, and her brother, Jed, sold her to pay his debts. "This was my family's land, Tom," she says, eyes blazing. And I was digging to remember, not to steal. I feel like a fool for doubting her, and I fasten her ma's old locket around her neck, saying, "You're not what they did to you, Nora." Enter Lillian Voss, my old fiancée from before Sadie's ma, rolling into town in a fancy carriage, all silk and city charm, widowed now and dripping with money. She sits at my table, laughing too loud, offering to bankroll a big cattle deal, talking about building something grand. Her eyes flick to Nora, scrubbing the hearth, and I see the jab in her smile. Nora's quieter now, her shoulders tight, and Sadie asks one night, "If Miss Lillian stays, is Miss N still my ma?" My heart sinks. Nora overhears, and next morning her bag's packed. "I can't be her," she says, voice flat. "Not with Lillian's shadow here." I'm frozen. Words stuck. And she's halfway down the porch steps when Sadie's cry cuts through. "Miss N." The kids burning up, fever high, shivering under blankets. Nora drops her bag, boils herbs, sings to Sadie through the night, her voice cracking but steady. 3 days, she doesn't sleep, just holds Sadie's hand, and I'm watching, writing a letter I don't know how to give her. "Nora, it was never Lillian. You brought us back to life." Sadie pulls through, and Lillian leaves, saying, "She loves you more than I ever could. Tom, don't mess it up." By winter, Nora's organizing Redstone's first Christmas fair, handing out rosemary soaps, laughing with the preacher's wife like she's always belonged. One night, Sadie gives her the locket, now with a tiny wooden star carved with "Nora, you're my real ma," she says. In the rosemary fields, under a crisp sky, I hand Nora Sadie's drawing of us three, saying, "I built this life for you." Her eyes shine, no words needed. We're a family, not perfect, but chosen, and that's enough. But here's the thing, was Nora right to stay, to fight for a place in a town that judged her? Or should she have left, started fresh where no one knew her past? Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Can you ever outrun who you were? Or is it about who you choose to become? Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories where hearts don't miss, even when the world tries to break them.